The Bible contains 59 values that can be categorized as moral, which means they directly dictate behavior. For example, thou shalt not bear false witness. Don't lie. There are 40 instances in the Bible that express this. However, and here's where things can get complicated, there are 5 instances that describe a loophole to this principle, like 2 Kings 10 verse 18 through 30, whereby God condoned a plan for Jehu to deceive worshippers of Baal in order to cut them down with the sword. The commonality between these loopholes is that they victimize the unbeliever. So the true biblical value must be modified to thou shalt not bear false witness unless it's against an unbeliever. The earliest depiction of this value occurred in Psalms, which dates back to 700 BCE. The crux of this principle, don't lie, as you might have guessed, was conceived well before this, documented back in 2100 BCE in the Mesopotamian Code of Ur-Nammu, Law 28. Incidentally, the ancient Egyptians also documented this over 1,000 years before the Bible, and the Book of the Dead directly addresses inaccurate weights and scales, which was also addressed in Deuteronomy, nearly 1,000 years later. How does the Quran feel about lying? Naturally, they're against it, and mentioned it 10 times. For example, chapter 45, verse 7. So how do the other 58 moral values fare in the originality and Islam analysis? For originality, out of 59 values, 55 were predated. The 4 values that were not: number 1, spread the word, which is proselytization. Number 2, no remarriage unless you're a victim of infidelity or a widow. Number 3, do not eat meat with blood in it. And number 4, be prepared to justify your faith, which also ties into proselytization. That's it. Now let's add some additional perspective. Firstly, proselytization just managed to squeak in a mention in the Old Testament, which was in Psalms 105 verse 1. Other than that, it was all New Testament, 17 instances worth, and these were predated by Buddhism's Pali Canon by approximately 5 centuries. Secondly, proselytization is a double-edged sword. Yes, you will increase membership when you proselytize, but you will also dilute your religion's dogma. This is why the Jews and Christians initially split. Christianity is a tweaked version of Judaism adapted to Roman culture, which jettisoned circumcision, Passover, Jewish exclusivity, the food restrictions, and a few others. No remarriage. Well, everyone pretty much ignores this worldwide, except for the beacon of morality known as the Philippines. Do not eat meat with blood in it. Yeah, Christians ignore this one too. Pretty much everyone does. Now, in regards to shared morality with Islam, only one was not shared. Which one was that? Remarriage. Islam allows up to 3 divorces. Think about that. Morally speaking, the only value Muslims and Christians do not share is a value that Christians almost entirely ignore.